Cheers. Fluoride. That's really a worrying thing, isn't it? And why it's worrying is that people have got all the information, but there's a lot of people who can't actually afford to buy bottled water, believe it or not, in this country. So they have to drink water out of the tap, and I think, well, if I drink tea or if I drink coffee, I'll boil it, but you can't boil away these chemicals. I don't know if it's true what I'm saying, they are resistant to boiling. And if these chemicals were to clean the water on that side of things, to keep the water clean from nasty bacteria, and I suppose there is certain chemicals they do put in to kill these bacteria, well, that's really good. But these things like fluorides, what they put in, and you know, you just need to know what people are saying to you. Are not saying it to frighten you. Well, they are saying it to frighten you. They're saying why the government's putting it in. And yet you think, no, God, the government wouldn't do that. And yeah, they would, because if you think about the government, it's working for, you know, a greater power than the government. We elect the government to go in to look after us, to do as we expect them to do, is to look after us and manage things. But no, they're not there to manage it for us, they're there to manage it for the greater powers. They're there to control us. And the greater powers are so psychopathic that they think, you know, the earth is covered with too many people, and in their mind we're cancer. You know, we're cancerous to them, we're a threat. And yeah, we are a threat, but we're not really a threat, are we? Because we're so subservient and we're so compliant. And when we do, like, you know, have a you know, a situation where we do revolt, it all backfires on us anyway. It's because they expect us to do that. They're already G'd up for us to do that, and for a lot of times orchestrate that so they can stamp on us, you know. And I think revolution is a good word, but I think revolution should happen within first, before you even think about revolution against, you know, the controllers. You've got to have a revolution against yourself. And the reason why you've got to have a revolution against yourself is all the brainwashing bullshit what you've been pumped full of, pumped into you since you were a child, you know, by the system, by school, by your parents, if they were good parents, you know. You've got to be compliant, you've got to be good, you know, Queen and country, you know. And, you know, that's the revolution you first got to have with yourself before you even, you know, reactionally, suddenly the penny drops and, oh, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not putting up with this, you know, oh, we've been poisoned, I've been giving my kids tap water for years, and I've suddenly realised that the powers that be have just basically been like telling me to poison me kids because they're so paranoid that they think there's too many humans on this planet, because, you know, the 1% of the ruling classes don't want us on the planet because, you know, we're overpopulated. No, we're not overpopulated at all. Planet's a massive place. There's one guy, I'll keep this short, worked it out on a mathematical way, right? And he says basically is, you know, there's a lot of land around every, you know, area of like living, you know. And he said we could feed the world something like 20 times over every year. There'd be 20 times a surplus or more. And he said, and labour wouldn't be a problem. And you know, the way he said it mathematically, and he said, you know, just to do it like the natural and the easy way, and you know, it wouldn't even take much planning. It wouldn't take much organisation. You know, you would have your farmers. Your farmers would employ the workers, and he was in the utopic way of thinking, which I thought was absolutely spot on. You know, everybody does a little bit, not a bit where you're enslaved to produce food. You did a little bit because you were fit and you're healthy. Women, men, you know, teenagers who wanted to earn a bit of pocket money, but money wasn't the thing. It was just a good way of living, you know. And he says there's that much earth around people that hunger wouldn't be an issue. And again with, and this is another thing I could go down on, how to heat and how to keep people like in light and warm and all that, but that's another story. So, you know, it's, the more I see things, you know, I'm in and out of like, you know, like what yous would call like, you know, the guy's nuts, he's crazy, he talks about going into different dimensions and what have you. I'm in and out of like, you know, this so-called reality. And when I come back and I start hearing the same old things about, you know, fluoride and that what's another one, I wrote that down just before, aspartame. You know, they put aspartame in you know, things where they wouldn't, what they don't want to put sugar into. They call it diet cokes and diet this and you know, rather than using sugar. It's actually absolutely horrendous chemical they put in rather than sugar. Sugar can cause problems, but this stuff actually causes massive problems. This stuff is what was devised by somebody in the Holocaust, some Nazi, you know, in the concentration camps. You know, just we found out that this particular chemical could really, really hurt people, fast way or slow way, but you know, in general, just kill people. You know. And I put that as a rather than sugar, you know. And the more when I come back into reality, as what you would call reality, these things just keep on smashing us in the face all the time. And you try to bring it up in just everyday conversation, which when you talk about, people look at you as though you're off your nut, you're crazy. Oh God, there you go again, talking about, you know, shite. Well, is it shite? It must be, you know, such a bad thing to talk about for you to just think it's shite. Well, in my mind, it's absolutely, you must talk about it. You must, like, instead of having the revolution on the streets, have a revolution with yourselves. To actually think that, to accept what's actually going in your food or what's going in your water, for you just to put up with it. And people call me crazy for even bringing it up, or even talking about other people who bring it up and actually, you know, like I say, I don't mean to sound as though I put myself down, but they can put it across a lot better than what I do. You know, and I'm just, you know, sometimes I feel as though I don't want to come back from a dimension, to come back to this, because people are so, like, compliant. You know, they just want to put up with it. Or they just want to moan about it when it's too late, but when it's too late, it's too late. That's it. End of. But I would feel really guilty thinking, oh, I mean, I see my children, you know, not all the time, but when I do, I say, I hope you're not drinking tap water. I hope you're not taking anything with artificial sugars in it because it's got this in it, you know, and I tell them to take, you know, certain homeopathic remedies, certain herbs and certain things. And honestly, I even though my own kids, I look at this, so I'm like, you know, oh God, you're going on again. But they'd rather have a pill because the man said it's good for you, but it's all football. We're starting to find things out that these pills are not good for you. These pills do this, that bad side effects. Even the cancer thing, you know, go for leukemia, go for radiotherapy and things like that, and they know it's destroying them, but they'd rather go that route because society has got them brainwashed. So that's the revolution people need to have, is breaking the code of disillusion within themselves. So I'll leave it with that one.